Lamps in video games use real electricity. Because they light up the surrounding area, the screen needs to get brighter. And a brighter screen uses more power. This is a game changer. I know, right? A real shower thought in ages. Only on an OLED screen, and LED screen is always lit in the background and the pixels just have a little shutter to block the light from coming through. Well, you got me. Came here to say this. But you're still right. It requires electricity to compute the graphics of the lamp and send that information to the display. This is honestly what I believed the thought really was. The entire game is powered by electricity. Thus all the electronics in the game are literally powered instead of figuratively. Yeah, my first thought too. Yeah, but an off lamp still required graphics and computing power, so that's kind of not that special. But on an OLED screen, the lamp is actually consuming more electricity because it makes your screen brighter. If you turn it off, it consumes less electricity. If you're ray tracing, each active light source adds a bunch of extra calculations, therefore power used. If I'm not mistaken, one of the way ray tracing is optimized in real applications is to shoot rays from camera to everything and not from light sources. So in that case, performance impact should not be high when more light sources are active. From camera, a ray is cast to the object in vision. When the ray hits the object, additional paths are traced to the relevant light sources to figure out how to cast shadows and whatnot. So there is additional computation in the sense that the light sources still cause extra computation. We are talking extremely negligible power use either way, mind you, which is the fun of this shower thought. If the lamp creates dynamic shadows, it uses more GPU when on then off. If it is big, they are probably similar. Actually, in this case the light is still consuming electricity. A huge reason GPUs consume so much power is all the crazy math going into rendering modern lighting effects on various textures and shadows. Truth, so many little background processes eating up processor cycles and other system resources. A parallel virtual CPU resources run on / use real electricity hardware, whether VMware or Minecraft. That's not true for all LCD screens. LCDs will have a resting state that either blocks light or doesn't, and that will determine whether a black or white background uses more power, so you'd need to know which one your monitor is. OLED, plasma, and quartz screens will use less power to display black, though TN panels use less electricity to display white. In their turned off state, the crystals do not block the backlight. PVA, MVA and IPS block light in the off state. I believe that's a minuscule difference, just tiny transistors and capacitors. Backlight is the main consumer. Nah, you're still right. After all, the system rendering said lamp uses real electricity. Taking the screen out of the equation, lights put additional strain on the graphic processing, which takes electricity. It can range from an absolutely trivial amount, as in putting a sprite on the screen, to a simple translucent polygon, to some more advanced methods using ambient occlusion, Phong shading, etc., to cutting edge stuff I don't know the jargon for. Edit. Just pointing out I have a very limited knowledge of graphics. The main point I was making is that some portion of the power draw would go into lighting. If lighting is present, that would not be used by lighting if lighting were not present. That said, reading responses, I suddenly want to really read up on it. Actually, you're right. Yeah, ambient occlusion. Maybe if the game is ray tracing, then yeah, lights in games would draw more power. Wouldn't even have to be just ambient occlusion. Facing the light source will draw surface reflections. Actually, the shutter being open, white color on the screen, uses less power than when it's closed, black on the screen. So on a LED TV, a lamp being on would be using less power than when the lamp is off. Tap subscribe and hit the bell right next to it so you never miss a video. Comment your own thoughts below.